Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of DoubleDM podcast, where we discuss TTRPGs and all kinds of things you as a game master or player can do and implement and whatever the fuck, so you can make your games the best they can be. Today we discuss festivals, traditions, and culture as a world building and also pacing tool for your game sessions. But first, we're here to recap our weeks and talk about what happened for us, what we did, and a little bit of background information about everything about DoubleDM. So, Niels, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's been a fun day already, although I didn't sleep as much as I would have liked to. Up late last night, editing some photos just because I wanted to, until 2 a.m. And then suddenly at 6 a.m. my brain was like, hey, you know what? Waking up is a good idea, right? Good morning. You are not able to get to sleep anymore, so get the fuck off. And here I am. But other than that, great day so far and great week. How about you?
Yeah, it's been a great week personally and also a great Friday today. Lots of work stuff to be done. That's to be expected when you work. Right? So nothing really to complain there, but still some stuff to do. Yeah, I think my week was pretty regular. One thing that I enjoy is tomorrow on Saturday and also the day after on Sunday are the third place game and the final of the FIFA Women's World Cup, which I've been really much enjoying.
All right.
I don't know, it's a fun event, even though Germany got kicked out by South Korea again. In the group stage.
Can you tell me who's still in? Because I don't really follow.
There are 4 teams still in, right? In the game for the third place, it's Australia versus Sweden. And in the finale, it's Spain versus England.
All right.
Currently. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Perfect.
No sessions to look forward to this weekend. Yeah, no sessions for me this weekend. I had a session yesterday and I had a session on Tuesday, which I can't talk about because it was a recording of something special. But we also had a recording of something differently special on Sunday last week.
Yes, we did.
Also, we can't really talk about that. I want you to talk a bit about it anyway, Niels.
Okay. Yeah, I was nervous as shit as once we started out recording. My hands were literally shaking for the first 45 minutes. I was just there trembling. I don't know why. It's been
so long since we recorded the last episode before that, right? So
yeah,
it could have just been, right, the anxiety of, oh, do I fucking know how to do this anymore? Or did I just forgot everything?
Yeah, probably this with mixed in with the usual anxiety of trying new things. And yeah, you are in the spotlight now as well, or at least my brain thinking that in comparison to when you're being a player, for example, in Titan's Call. There wasn't this pressure or something.
I'm actually quite different than that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think as when I GM for an actual play, I don't feel like there's a spotlight on me at all. Because I feel more like the spotlight itself. And when I play, I'm terrified of everything.
Wild, okay.
Because I don't want to mess up. It's completely switched around for me, yeah.
So just so I get this straight, on Sunday we were both terrified, but completely for different reasons or for the same reason?
Well, I think everyone on Sunday was quite terrified.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Because, Brett, it's been so long. We finally got back together as a group to do this. And we also scheduled a lot more in the future for this to finally finish this project or finish the recording phases of that project. We all know that editing takes forever, especially with us, because timelines are fucking grim right now. No, but so I wasn't terrified of the recording itself. I was terrified of what happened in the recording as a player.
I hope you had fun, though.
Yeah,
I hope you had fun, though.
It was a lot of fun. But really, right, your hands were shaking before, mine were shaking afterwards because I really, like hours later, I was still only thinking about that session.
Damn. Okay. I guess I didn't do too bad. So
no, you did great.
Yeah.
You did really great.
Thank you.
Sunday was fun, a lot of fun. But let's talk about a TTRPG session that we can talk about. Did you have any?
Sadly not.
Oh, fuck.
My Tuesday session fell out again, but we as a group still met up because we wanted to meet up because we're good friends and stuff like that, But we just sat around a table, basically each prepping our own sessions for the next sessions to come. And just enjoying our company, bouncing some ideas off each other, talking to each other about what would fit best for their character, what might work, how they want to deal with certain things, what are their plans and all of that stuff. And yeah, it was just overall a really, really fun day, because even though we didn't do anything together necessarily, we still did stuff together. It was just nice hanging out, eating something fun, hearing music, listening to music, and just do some shit.
Shit.
Yeah, and then just one bad joke after another. It's hilarious. I love it every fucking time. Every Tuesday, amazing. Bad joke after bad joke after bad joke. No one except my group will laugh about this, but we can't stop, and we won't stop because, why should we? It's just too much fun. But yeah, that's been my week for TTRPGs. Oh, no, not necessarily. I made new dice.
Oh.
Yes.
You
beautiful.
Dice.
Because I got something new for dice making.
Oh.
I got some gold foil inserts and a bit multi-chromatic glitter shit. And some other cool reflecting blue pieces of foil that I can put in. So I'm going to try something about that or with that soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
But that's basically everything TTRPG related this week for me.
Yeah, I had a session yesterday on Thursday that I can talk about. We separate our entire campaign into adventures, basically chapters, right? This one chapter is now in session 14.
Okay.
Just a single chapter.
It was the Dark Eye, right?
Right, this campaign has been going for 10 years, so we don't mind it taking long. Basically, we know of the temple in the village we're currently in has, first of all, an ancient, dark, cultistic site below it, a 13-pointed star, which is the sign of basically the god of demons, to abbreviate that for listener experience. And well, the ritual that they want to partake, that we got the missing piece for them, basically is a ritual to offer this 13th god of this pantheon the chance at redemption. Okay. Making him one of the gods again, restoring his godhood. And then, well, hoping that he is friendly. We still think that this might be either they're getting tricked into releasing him or loosening his chains that he's bound by, or, well, just straight up releasing them because they want to. Both isn't great. So we have to find a way to stop this ritual. But we need the information to actually prove that for that, because we don't want just to go around and murder everyone.
That's a good incentive.
And there is a lot of different clues and stuff happening that we're like, well, we maybe first we incited a mob against us and had a mob of people wanting to prove their loyalty to their priestesses.
Okay, I need some more information on how you managed to do that too.
Well, they saw how we basically defiled their temple. That's what they say. We didn't defile the temple. We just did stuff. They were right. They saw the right thing, but they got it wrong, obviously. We incited the mob against us. We calmed the mob down. Then we incited the mob against the priestesses, brought basically the whole village to the temple and said we demanded answers, showed everyone the holy site or the unholy site below, then demanded answers, were basically waved off. Then we let the mob back to village because it didn't work. We put everyone in a panic, calmed everyone down, and then had a party with them.
Sounds like a fun Friday night.
It was wild, let me tell you that. Like, there's so much baggage behind this adventure that talking about it is really difficult, because everything I'm saying is like, okay, but I need to explain this for 5 minutes now. But this adventure feels like a very bad joke.
Okay.
A witch, a lizard folk, and an evil god walk into a tavern.
Oh boy, that's
kinda.
That's like,
it wouldn't
be a
wrong
setup for a joke to come.
It wouldn't be wrong what I'm saying. And the best part is we didn't even want to do the thing.
Okay.
Like, we weren't supposed to help these people, but we said, yeah, let's help you guys. Maybe that's good for us. We found out that one of the people that we had in the village was a shapeshifter lizard that shapeshifted into a giant red panther that attacked one of us and nearly ripped their throats out.
That doesn't sound too healthy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, best of luck to you. I just remembered one TTRPG thing that I can talk about.
Oh.
It is my theoretically coming up session on next Tuesday, if nothing intervenes. We basically stopped the session right in combat round 2 because it was getting fucking late. But the way we got into the situation was we just arrived in this city, and in this city magic is more or less not prohibited but frowned upon because the people there think every magic is somehow connected to the necromancers that once ruled over this country and enslaved people. So magic isn't really a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So everything we had that kind of was obviously magical went into our bag of holding. And yeah, as you do, you just go shopping for supplies on the marketplace, blah, 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 blah. And then some asshole decides to just steal our bag of holding and then just ran off with it, with every magic item that we had in it. There were at least 2 legendary swords in there that kind of are symbols of power of the ancient kingdoms, or were used by the ancient kings, and forged by the emperor of old age, that are unrivaled in craftsmanship and magical artisanship, you could say. We found those, or 2 of those, in an ancient underground temple, as you do. But yeah, now they're gone, and that's not a good thing if your magic shit is stolen. So we try to follow up on that and found they were in the underground black market caverns and try to ransom this empty bag and find out what's in there. But yeah, once they noticed that we were there, they immediately shifted their attention over to us and tried to get us out, because obviously, right? And yeah, now it's a big fucking fight versus basically the black market underground guild of this city we are currently in, without our magic swords. That will be fun. I hope so. Getting our stuff back is important. There's about enough gold in that bag of holding to buy a whole army, which we try to do.
Obviously.
To combat the invading army. So, yeah, we need that bag of holding back.
Because there's an invading army.
Exactly. So there's a bit of a tight schedule. So, no problem at all, right?
Well, let's hope that you find your bag of holding back with everything in it.
Yeah, that's the big part. With everything in it. That's the important part. But yeah, it will be fine.
Probably.
Most definitely.
Maybe. Right? Hopefully.
Perhaps not.
With that, we've talked about everything.
Hell yeah.
We've given people a little of a recap of our weeks. We talked a bit about what is up with us. And yeah, I think with that, we can and should jump into our episode on traditions and how they can enrich your game. Hey listener, how are you enjoying the show so far? Tell us about it in whatever way you see fit. Go to our social media pages and add us or DM us about your favorite episode of the show. We would love to hear from you on what impact our show might have had on your home games. Or you could review us on your podcast app of choice and leave us a nice message with a 5-star review. And if you want to go above and beyond, bring a friend into the fold. Tell them about our show and refer us to them so they can get a piece of the pie as well. Thank you for listening to DoubleDM and joining us on this incredible journey.
So Emil, recently I wanted to run a D&D session for my characters or for my players that featured a street festival kind of thing. It sadly got cancelled, but anyways.
Well, at the point of this release, you might have run the session.
Probably, hopefully. Anyways, that just got me thinking about street festivals or festivals in general, or jovial fun in TTRPGs in comparison to the stressful dragon fighting or code cracking or whatever else or whatever TTRPG you're playing. And that's something I wanted to talk to you a bit about, the contrast and in general traditions, festivals, carnivals, and jovial fun, and if it is needed in a game of TTRPGs. And this session that I am planning, or I planned, it had two reasons. My characters just got out of a very stressful fight and a very stressful arc, and I wanted to have some sort of stress relief for them in any way, shape, or form. But I also wanted them to have the option to further some connections in the city that they're having a home in and a house in. And I think having a street festival where basically the whole city is out there doing stuff, just enjoying life, is a good point to start building connections, or at least getting to know people, or putting their reputation out there to being seen. And I was thinking, hey, Emil probably has some nice insights into street festivals, traditions, jovial fun, and all of that, right? So what is your take on jovial fun, street festivals, and all of that stuff?
Well, from what angle do you want to start it?
Let's go with why out of game, why you as a table want to have, or might want to have, such a session.
So when my players are in a setting where they can have a street festival or celebration, a carnival, whatever, I think to myself, would it be fun for this session to basically not feature any plot advancement? Because as with anime, for example, fillers are a thing. And I firmly believe that fillers do have their place. That filler episodes for animes that have to wait for the manga to catch up so they can again go back into the action of the source material, they have to do filler arcs or filler episodes where the characters don't do anything progressive to the story and just enjoy. And why? Well, first of all, because when looking at your life, there's not always a progression there. Sometimes you just have a Sunday where you just have a TTRPG session for fun. There is no advancement in your career or studies or life. It's just fun. And you need that. But that's again going to the in-game part. But out of game, it's just my players and I don't know, we're all stressed. I haven't had time to prepare that much. Okay, they're entering a big city. Boom, party festival. And I can basically make up the stuff along the way. Have a list of NPC names prepared, have a few fun ideas in mind for a fun few things. Maybe I will drop some lore hints at the end to get to when we have the next session where I'm able to do stuff again. Maybe that will work. Most of the time it does.
Yeah.
It's just a fun downtime session, as we've talked about with Matt from Roleplay Chat, right? Downtime is great and it's needed, but sometimes it's not necessarily about keeping quiet or having resting. Sometimes it's also just about, right, not focusing on plot. A session that isn't advancing and stuff like that is valuable. It also helps with pacing. If your players have had a lot of advancements lately and it seems that your campaign is rushing a bit, you can instantly take all the wind out of the sails with this. In a good way. You're literally stopping everything and say, this session is you guys at the street festival. You can do whatever you want. You can still try to do plot advancements, and maybe there will be something, but it's not going to be that big revelation you had last time, or you're not catching a bad guy. Like, you don't have to tell them that exactly, but yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I felt is when designing some sessions along those lines is that not necessarily just taking away the wind out of the sails, but giving them the time to properly rethink about the information that they got, because they have time to wind down and look at it from a different angle and not of this agitated and stressed point of view, either the players or the characters themselves, just because you have done something else. You just now have a different point of view on the things that you've learned before, or have the time to look at the things that you've learned before and then reevaluate them. And I think most parties that I've witnessed were more willing to take that time to talk about their adventures that they had and just build more character interactions and reevaluate new information if there isn't a pressing matter to attend to.
Yeah.
E.g. a fucking street festival where you just try different foods around the world. You just sit there eating a taco, or one character is eating a Pop-Tart, another character is eating a taco. They're just standing there sipping on a ale while another one is doing shots and just talking.
Yeah.
Because they have the time, because they don't feel the need to do anything else currently, because there is just fun to have.
Yeah, I think it's actually fun when you think about it, because, right, you said, right, when there's nothing else to do right now, a street festival is just a good time to get your players to basically come out of their shell a bit, some low stakes stuff, right? But at the same time, it could also be very fun if there's a very pressing matter and you put a street festival basically as an enticer in there for the pressing stuff. I don't know, a good example would be, there's a street festival going on right now, and your players are bringing urgent message of tomorrow the city's gonna be attacked by dragon. Basically, you're just telling your players, well, there's a lot more people in here. People are happy, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot more chaos than you anticipated, right? But then you're not putting in the street festival for the reason of the street festival, but more as a multiplier or factor in the equation of your players going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. But it's also a thing that you can do. For that, you also need to always think about, does the street festival make sense for the world here? And that is when we get into the in-game part, in the in-world part of this street festival. But out of game, it's you as Dungeon Master making a decision. Hey, my players deserve this. Or, hey, this could be a fun extra added stake to make my players shit their pants more. Right? Maybe they're chasing, I don't know, a known criminal to this town. Well, there's a street festival, which is a very good place to hide. It's very hard to find you here now because, well, there's a street festival going on right now. Right? Or, for example, if you're in a very big city and there's a street festival in some parts of the town, the criminal could escape into those parts of town using the crowded marketplaces and streets to disappear into the crowd. The players have new challenges in front of them. But at the end, I think street festivals are a great thing that you can just put into your game when you just have an ounce of idea of it makes sense. Because I've been watching a few documentaries or YouTube essays way too late at night about basically random festivals, how they came to be. The Glastonbury Festival, right? It's literally in a town that has 210,000 inhabitants. And there's the biggest musical festival of the world is in this town, and how it came to be and what it is. And while obviously there's a lot of logistical planning going into a festival like this, the decision from the people that said, let's make a festival here, was also most of the time not necessarily that logistical in the first place. So you don't have to make it as a GM either. These people, 50 years ago, someone said, okay, let's make a festival. Let's make a street food festival here. Because I've been traveling a long time through the world. I've seen a lot of food and I want to bring this food to my hometown. And they start. Yeah. And that is the entire thought of it. You can also just say, well, yeah, there's a festival going on. And you can do that often. Don't oversaturate it, yes, but you don't have to think about it too much of if a street festival makes sense here, because at the end of the day, a festival is for people to have fun and enjoy stuff. The thought process is just, okay, I want these people to enjoy stuff. No thought anymore than that is that. And as a GM, you have the power to then bend the world around you to make sure that also logistically works. Because you literally control it.
In my case, this was, I created a street food festival, some fun activities that they can participate in for the city to just have a nice thing to do other than just being in the same tavern over and over again. I thought, hey, this is a cool idea, right? It's a port town anyways. It's the main city or the capital city of this island. There will be a lot of trade going on from all around the world. So why not? Okay, hey, it's summer or late summer. Probably the whole, a lot of different harvests or fermented things or whatever, right, had enough time to be sold here now as a history thing. That just came after the fact that I said, hey, I want a street festival here right now. And then I just thought, hey, okay, a lot of different traders from all around the world just come here and bring their local foods. And a couple of years ago, it started as 2 stands just selling different types of foods. And every year it got more and more and more. And now it just basically once a year, there is this big 3-day festival of celebrating different foods from around the world. Because celebrating food is always nice, because it gets people together, it gets people talking, it gets people just happy in all of the experience that I had. That's the vibe that I wanted to go with for this festival, something along those lines, with just people celebrating and having fun over basically minor things in life, like if I want to have a taco or if I want to have a slice of bread. It's not a big decision per se, but it's just a decision that you can make because you have the options in front of you right now. And yeah, just then adding some mini games or some carnival games stands to all of that to just further this feeling of everyone here is having fun. Everyone just wants to have a great time. And yeah, hey, there is some competitiveness to it, but in a fun way.
Oh, we can get to that. Oh my God, I love that. I had a street festival for my campaigns once, and I've basically made a list of random stands that my players can go to or compete in, right? We had every basic normal carnival game. Gamified in D&D. And I'm not going to say which options they had because they basically had all the options, but I just want you to guess, Niels, what carnival game? What basic carnival game? And it's not even a carnival game. It's a game it's being played also normally. And also game is maybe a bit of a stretch. But what thing had my players enamored for nearly an hour?
Okay, either it's the apple fishing with your mouth.
Way too complicated.
Okay.
You're thinking way too complicated already.
Ring toss?
Nope, too complicated.
Hitting this thing where
way too complicated.
Arm wrestling?
Yes.
Yeah.
My players were enamored with the arm wrestling because the arm wrestling I did was, well, the most simple thing you can think of. Contested strength checks, and you need to win 2 times in a row. Mm-hmm. Then I also obviously had an enticement. If you're the champion by the end of the day, you get 10 gold pieces. Mm-hmm. Literally nothing. Pocket change for characters at the level of like 7 or higher. My players were level 5, so it was something for them.
10 gold isn't...
Yeah. So my players were fighting a few NPCs that had normal stat blocks, and they were like, okay, this is fun. It's literally just both roll at the same time, look at the number, I win. Okay, again, right? That was everything there is to it. But do you know where the fun came from in that game?
When the players got to compete against each other?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
One of them, the fighter, who had a strength score of 18 at that point, so +4, beat the current champion. So his name was written on the board as new champion. Obviously, all of the other players instantly challenged him to a duel. And then they had to fight. And then whenever one of them became the new champion, all other 5 players at the table challenged him one after the other. And only at the end, the fighter won, and they stopped doing the contest because after an hour of this, me as the GM just laughing my ass off that they are doing this so I can have time to prep everything else that is coming for them, and also enjoying the fun my players are having, because honestly, let's be real, it's just fun when your players are having fun. And I've also thrown in a few NPCs in the mix, right, because they would also be competing. The fighter won only because he defeated one of the other player characters who was the current champion, and then defeated every other player character in a row. Then it was, okay, you're the champion. The others won't try again. So you can leave the tavern after an hour. Also, to make it even more fun, the players said, our characters are basically drinking between every round. So I also said, okay, well, all of you are basically tipsy as fuck now, because you've spent an hour in a tavern basically drinking a beer every single time you've lost the game. Yeah, like, you're gonna be tipsy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think tipsy is putting it lightly.
Yeah, I think Tipsy is putting it exactly correct, because first of all my players are German, so their characters are supposed to have a little bit more constitution in that regard. At least that's what they think. And also
beer resistance.
And also at the end, right, it was only an hour, and they didn't X all of their ales or something. They just drank something.
That's an information that was important to that, because if you
they just
slam down beer after beer after every round of arm wrestling.
The thing about that is, I didn't plan for the beer drinking as part of the game, but for them it was, especially once they all got poisoned, or more or less, and had disadvantage on their checks, which made the thing just more fun. But also, right, they made their fun by challenging each other. This is, I think, the core of these jovial, fun times. And these festivals. This is the core of why they're cool. You provide a basic thing, like this party game. Like, this is a street food festival. Basically, every food you can think of is gonna be here. And your players will make their own fun with it.
Exactly.
Now, we can say that this is a kind of a principle of TTRPGs, and it's supposed to happen, that your players are taking initiative and doing stuff on their own, right? They have control of their characters, so let them do stuff. But the street festival, or this jovial downtime fun, is just gonna enable them to do just much more with it. In the beginnings, at least. They are basically prompted, and then they make their own fun with it, because that's what we do. Also at these street food festivals, right? When Niels and I would go to a street food festival, we would roam around and go, oh, wait, this stand looks cool, let's eat here, right? And then we eat there, and then through some random coincidence, we end up at, okay, who's gonna finish their hot dog the fastest?
Easy. That's just an easy connection.
There's never a prompt behind it. It just happens because we're here, we want to have fun, and this looks fun, so let's do it.
The prompt is, there is a hot dog stand, period. With these festivals or games or street food stalls or whatever, right? You just give your players, or you just add tools to the toolbox of your players.
Yeah.
How they engage with the tools is completely up to them. They have them.
Yeah.
And if they have them, this is just a thing that I've witnessed over the years of GMing. If players have shit, they will use shit.
Well,
Except it's important, then they won't.
no, not except it's important, except they think it's valuable. That's the fun part, right?
Fair.
I gave my players a short anecdote. I gave my players basically a serum of scrying. A spell that is 5th level as far as I know, right? Scrying is 5th level.
I think so, yeah.
My players only have half casters. They literally only have access to scrying once they're like level 13, 15.
I think level 5 spells are the pinnacle of half-casters. Yeah.
They do not have access to scrying magic normally. Only the artificer will do at the end of the game. They never used it before.
Yeah.
This might be too valuable. We will need this. And I'm like, yes, I understand that this is valuable for you guys because you're not able to cast scrying spells at all, but you're also supposed to use it.
That's why I gave it to you.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with computer role-playing games and potions that I have, especially when I'm playing Skyrim, for example. I'd rather eat 50 cheese wheels than drink one potion because, hey, I might need that later. And then I just sell them because I didn't need them after all. But the same thing goes for TTRPGs. If they think, hey, we might have to use this might be worth more when we use it at a later point in time, they won't use it. If you smash this contraption that the bell on top rings, you get this wand that can cast prestidigitation 8 times. Then it's just gone.
Yeah.
Something like this is just fun.
Yeah. Coming back to street festivals.
Yeah.
In that instance, yeah. I think especially because, right, there is there's a fun effect with festivals, celebrations, and that's because they're temporary.
Yeah.
The street food festival is only gonna be here for like 2 days. After that, everything returns to normal. In that time of unnormal, of this new stuff, of this exciting, extraordinary stuff, you want to do the fun stuff. You want to have fun. You're enticed to do so much more and explore and do new things because, right, you don't get the chance to do it when the stuff is gone. And the stuff is gonna be gone. Except if you live in Berlin and want to go to a Christmas market. Those are year-round nearly now, sometimes here.
Yeah. Berlin in general is weird in that regard.
Berlin is fun in that regard because it's a city of festivals.
Yeah, there's always something. You will never know what it is, but it's always something.
I firmly believe that living in Berlin has shaped my experience of festivals in a way that I see them differently than some other people. And yeah, they are temporary, and most of them are. But also a lot of the stuff that I could experience on these festivals is still experienceable in this city year-round, because the businesses behind them see that still as valuable enough to keep them up year-round, right? The Christmas market stands, for example, that are in some streets still. We have July, and no, they haven't been already built. They are still standing from 3 years ago, still make money. So they keep them there. But that's the capitalist answer. But also, right, people just enjoy the shit. So why not keep it? But at the end, normally the stuff needs to be gone because it loses all of its sparkle and magic if it's gonna be there year-round. And I think that's also a fun thing that you need to think about with festivals. First of all, putting them in at points where it makes sense for the players, because your players are probably traveling bunch. So they might encounter more street festivals than the normal average person that lives only in one town. However, it should also still feel like a special opportunity, a special magical moment for them. Because at the end, let's focus on it. Player characters are the focus, and the world serves them first and foremost.
And I think one thing that is also amazing with when you use street festivals or celebrations, something along those lines, is that it gives every player the same ideas or the same things to engage with, but it all brings out some or different character aspects of each character, because every character has the same tools available but will use them differently, and therefore can be used, or the street festival itself can be used as a way to interlink the characters more, or the characters get to know each other more because they know each other person or each other character likes or dislikes and won't do or will do, or just get to know each other more through the lens of interacting with different objects that aren't usually there. And that's also a fun thing, is one of when I am a player as TTRPG, what I try to focus on during downtime is creating more or different bonds to the characters outside of adventures. Outside, this person saved my life 3 times, or this person is the slayer of dragons because he landed the final blow on every single dragon that we encountered. But hey, with this dude, I can just sit on top of a roof and talk about bullshit for 3 hours. And these are the connections that I personally look for when I'm a player during downtime. And I think a street festival or any other celebration is perfect to exactly engage in that sort, because you will see a different side of each character other than just combat focused or survival instincts or something along those lines, finding new information, but rather than just them enjoying themselves. And therefore you get different points where you can connect as a player to these characters and engage with them, and then forge a different bond or more bonds, and just come together as a group more, or even settle some scores that you have had in the past through non-threatening, non-life-threatening fun. We have a debt to settle. Who's the better archer, or who can hit things better, or what? Blah 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 blah. If I know in my group there are these kinds of rivalries, every fucking street festival there will be a stall where you can exactly challenge this specific rivalry, just because a one and done deal with, look, I am better now officially isn't going to do it for me. But over every time, so the spice is kept alive a bit, if you know what I mean.
For sure, right? Festivals just give you a lot of opportunities to do the stuff that sometimes falls under the table in TTRPGs that focus on a lot more the dragon slaying and crazy and fantastical and big things. Right? There are still TTRPGs that focus on different things. Wanderhome is a TTRPG without combat. So, yeah, the Street Festival just also gives you the chance to do this in other games. But I also want to focus on another aspect, and we've talked about, right, the in-game world stuff. Festivals, especially if they've been going for quite some time, which they mostly have if they're big, right, because festivals expand when you look at them. There's history behind that. There's tradition behind that. And tradition is a very fun thing that you could focus on. What are the traditions of this festival? You could make a fun festival out of this is the hat festival. Everyone has to wear a funny hat. Okay, but why? There's a reason for that. And it's a fun reason. And it's an interesting reason that people should know. Or at least the players should be able to find out. Because let's face it, the hat festival is fun.
I will most definitely steal the fucking hat festival for my games. Because that sounds like shitload of fun. Yeah, it's just a way for you to world build a bit as well. Because if you start with a reason why there might be a street festival, you can develop that further into a tradition. Or the other way around. You just decided, hey, there's going to be this festival. Okay, hey, but how long has it been going on? Why did it start? What did it develop into or out of? And all of that stuff. You can pierce that veil basically from 2 different sides and use that to further the organicness of your world. Because in the real world, there will be weird shit to happen from your point of view. But for the people that experience that day to day or year to year or regularly in general, it won't be that weird because it's just a normal thing. And the exchange in that or the reasoning behind that can be built by you or by your table as a general, because your players can help you build these traditions in your world when you want them, if you want them to.
Yeah, no, but for example, one fun thing I will focus mostly on when I build festivals, just with general information, because I build most of my stuff with this. This is the general information. This is the ruly information. Like, these are the mechanics of it, if there is mechanics to it, and then there is the details that the players might be able to find out. And the general information for a festival often includes, well, this is the hat festival. It started because, I don't know, random reason, an old man was being mocked by some teenagers for wearing his weird hats every day. So his neighbors decided to all start wearing weird hats and develop into a weird, funny festival. Fun, random story. However, I also think about, well, what is the time of this festival and why, right? For example, a harvest festival, if you call it a harvest festival, well, I know that's going to be part of a harvest, but as people probably know, there's more than one harvest normally. What does this harvest festival celebrate? Does it celebrate harvesting all the fields before the coming winter, which is the most harvest festivals that we know? Maybe this town has a very big tradition around, I don't know, an animal, right? The USA is pardoning a turkey every year to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's a tradition that makes completely no sense, but it was part of history or something. In your game, you can make up weird shit and then explain it away with, well, this is tradition and fun, and the people do it because it's fun. That's that. And it's such a fun little but important detail to your world that people around the world celebrate different things because they've grew up with different things, that different things happened. And festivals are just a great way to show history, I feel.
Exactly.
And traditions are a great way to show that this place is lived, that this place has lived, and this place is going to be persisting and living, no matter where the player characters are. It's not that they come around and then a street festival starts. It's that the players come to a town where a street festival is currently happening because 50 years ago, this and this happened.
Exactly. And it shows that the world is moving, even though the camera isn't on that part of the world. And yeah, right from the beginning, what you said, you can use it as a story device as well, if you would like to. It's not all just fun and games if you don't want it to be. You can use it as a threat escalator. Hey, we know something is going to raise this town. We came here to warn them. Oh shit, the streets are completely filled with visitors from all over because there is this parade going on, or there will be a parade going on, so the town is way more filled than usual. And all of these little things, or you can throw in some plot hooks as well in these festivals, or just through sheer observation of the players, something that happened to someone at this festival or somewhere in a back alley where they can do that because now the focus point of the guard is keeping the peace during the festival and not fighting that, or something along those lines. And they're just a way for you to give your players different information in general, showing tradition, showing history, showing a moving world, showing some fun, showing some things that they usually can't do so they want to, or showing what might happen if they don't do X or engage with that. And I think a big thing that in most street festivals is usually a fortune teller or something along those lines.
Fortune tellers are fun.
Yeah, they are. These are just ways for you to kind of tease could be a way for you to tease the story ahead without telling too much, or enticing your players to act or don't act on certain things.
I completely changed one of my player characters' views on the world with a fortune teller reading that was, at the end, really random. I used a real tarot deck with a little bit of a modified tarot reading because I didn't want to do a full tarot reading at the table. But yeah, I literally changed how this player sees their character and how this character sees the world, because that is what happens sometimes. And who are you to say that this fortune teller is wrong? Especially in a world of magic and dragons, they might actually be able to tell the future.
Exactly.
Like, who are you to say that they're wrong? Maybe they're wrong. It's maybe you should prove them wrong. Maybe that's a self-fulfilling prophecy then, and who knows? But fortune tellers are fun, and I encourage people to put in fortune telling into their games, especially if they have something they want to foreshadow to their players, because let's be real, foreshadowing is great. One fun thing I think street festivals also do for you is that they attract all kinds of people.
Oh yeah.
They attract this fortune teller, right? They attract other adventuring parties, maybe. They attract vendors from all around the world. They attract people. They attract all different kinds of people. And I think that is an incredible thing, because it allows you to showcase your world on a smaller scale and the diversity that you have in your world. It allows you to make your world a colorful place. Because, right, we can focus on how this world is doomed in like 15 days and stuff like that. But the people don't know that. All the player characters know that. And people are still celebrating. The people are having fun. Because you can focus on the bad in the world, but you can also focus on good and fun and cultures and differences and diversity. What makes the world beautiful? And festivals are great to showcase that.
Oh yeah, they are.
And they are great to showcase the contrast when your players know the world is ending impending in 15 days. And these people are still celebrating the fun because they don't know any better. They are having fun because they think their life is going to go on forever like this, or at least for how long they're supposed to live.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why they are not necessarily a street festival is needed, but something along those lines is just to show the contrast between the usual adventuring days of a party, where it's all just high stakes interactions, or can be high stakes interactions, but you need these low stakes environments to feel the difference and feel maybe the urgency of a certain situation. Or just to, like we talked about in the horror episode, if you all just have high tension all the time, it doesn't get the desired effect anymore. The same thing goes for attention in on a more storytelling way. If there are no low tension points in your story, it won't feel that tense anymore because the contrast is just missing. And usually you compare things to each other just because. Festivals are a great way to do exactly that, to give them or give your players a point of reference for what the ordinary folk do while the party is out there clearing dungeon after dungeon, slaying dragons, stopping calamities. It just grounds them a bit to see why they are doing the things they are doing. Give them maybe another reason to fight for the rescue of the world, or something along those lines.
I want to focus on one last thing. Now that we've talked about basically the out-of-game things, the in-game fun things, and the mini-games, and the world-building tradition explanations and stuff like that. At the beginning, we talked a bit, throughout the episode, we talked a bit about the contrast of festival fun and the dark and gloomy adventuring world, right? Using festivals as a plot device is also very fun. Not just as a challenge, but as an actual plot device can be a lot of fun and give you a lot of opportunity to do a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
Right? All the things we've talked about so far, but also it's just an endless amount of possibilities with street festivals, or with festivals and traditions in general, because lots of people, lots of stuff is happening, chaos is definitely there. You have just so many opportunities to do fun stuff with it. So yeah, put street festivals in your game, do more with them, and whatever fits in that moment, it's gonna fit. Think about your street festivals a bit. Think about, okay, so there's this history behind this, it makes sense to this time of year to have a harvest festival. So there's a harvest festival. Okay, my players are coming to town. They're here to actually catch a criminal or something, where this criminal has chosen this town for a very specific reason that has to do with this festival. What is the reason? Let's investigate.
In general, festivals are just great devices for you to use in a multitude of different ways, and for you to enjoy the time that you have at the table, and amplify that through giving everyone at the table more tools to work with, and therefore making it basically easier, because you don't have to interact with them, but you can, and therefore it probably will be interacted with. So yeah, just enjoy the time you have at the table. Use street festivals as much as you want, but be careful a bit to not oversaturate the world with it. Think about why there might be a street festival, or what type of street festival, and then come to the conclusion of the other through that, whatever floats your boat, and just let the players do their things in there, because they will do weird shit, and that's what we're here for.
I mean, think about festivals kind of a little bit like when you meet with your friends once a week to play TTRPGs. It's something you look forward to. It's something where you don't necessarily know what's going to happen, but you're having fun all the time way through. And when you leave, it's something that you remember fondly. When looking at traditions and fun, that's kind of it. Just capture that vibe in your fantasy setting or in your sci-fi setting. People are going to have fun here. People are going to be excited to be here. And if you capture that element, that is going to be contagious towards your players and their characters to also enjoy the time that they have here. Especially if they know that a world-ending serpent is going to come in 15 days. That one last moment of respite. Okay, let's get drunk one last time before we save the world or die trying. I'm just going to ask one fun thing, Niels.
Okay.
What is the favorite festival that you've included in your games?
Actually, I hope it will be the one featured soon because I really enjoyed building that. And I have one random ass stall in there where you can basically get a feat for the trade-off of a curse. You don't know which curse it will be, but you will definitely get one. But this stall is just sitting there right next to everything else, next to a fortune teller, next to a arm wrestling contest or a taco stand or something along those lines. And there will be music playing everywhere from different directions, sometimes overlapping, but just in general, amazing fun to have or potential to have amazing fun. And yeah, I'm super looking forward to including that. Because I think it will be amazing. Just because I would definitely want to go to that festival myself.
I think that's actually the fun part of it, right? Create the festivals that you want to go to. Because let's be real, you have the power to do so. So please don't try to imitate the festivals that we have in our real world. If they're the fun festivals that you want to have, sure, do it. But you have the power to make every festival that you want become a reality. And I think, yeah, right, that's kind of the appeal of GMing and TTRPGs. You hold power to create something. You hold power to create something that you have created and that is your own. So do it. Because it's fun.
Did you create a festival that you're particularly proud of or want to visit yourself?
I've created a festival for my Tyranny of Dragons game very early on in the city of El Turel. There was a street festival basically focused on arena fighting, though. On basically fighting as sport, where groups of heroes were able to register for fighting monsters. And my players took part in that, and I basically got to show off a few cool monsters that I didn't find a way to put into the campaign necessarily at these levels, and also let them meet a lot of NPCs. And yeah, there was a lot of celebrations going around as well. And I mean, it would be fun when you live in a fantasy world to, in a controlled setting, see some people fighting monsters.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch that.
It is a bloody sport, I will admit, but there were precautions taken so no one died, and even the monsters didn't die.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
I'd watch that.
That's kind of where I'm at. Oh, and also the Hatch Festival, it's going to be honest. That's a fun tradition that I just feel very fun about. Yeah, do it, please.
Just the whole city for a week running around with weird hats.
Right, it had a reason to it, and that made it fun. And the people stood by it, and now it's become a tradition. At the beginning, it was just a fun idea, and now it's tradition.
Yeah.
Right, if your city has a lot of cows and produces a lot of cheese, they're probably going to have a cheese festival because people are going to be celebrating whatever is happening around them. And at some point, it's going to turn into a tradition, into a festival, and then you have something fun on your hands.
And in general, keep an open mind to things that might turn into festivals, because a hat festival sounds amazing, but wouldn't be my first guess usually for what a festival might be. So keep an open mind to things that might turn into celebrations, because everything that can be celebrated will turn into a festival at some point, even if it's just a one-time only thing. But this then might turn into tradition and so on and so forth. So keep an open mind to that.
And also, right, use festivals to showcase your player characters, maybe the change in the world and the change they have. If your players are saving a town, there might be a festival in their honor.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, the players will be so grateful for that. Let me tell you that much. Imagine you're saving a town or doing something in a town, not necessarily only saving that town, and there will be a fucking festival dedicated to you. How amazing would that be? I'd go there to my own festival. Imagine a DoubleDM festival.
Oh God, no! Please don't. Oh God, please no! No!
Alrighty. So thank you all for listening, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of DoubleDM. It appears you liked this one. What we had to say and our advice helped you. Why not show us how we helped you in a rating, or even write a review detailing us how we helped? You can do this on the platform that you are listening on right now. It's just a few clicks, doesn't take long, and helps us out. It gets us out there and our advice into more ears of more people. Thanks again for listening and joining us on this amazing journey. Have a great day, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.